This is hydrogen gas or hydrogen element, and it is a gas. And hydrogen has an atomic number of 1. So in order to draw the structure, that is what we have on the screen. A big H representing the nucleus and one orbit with 1 electron. This is hydrogen, an element in its neutral state. Then we have oxygen. The oxygen element exists as a gas. And this oxygen element is also made up of oxygen atoms. So remember, elements are made up of atoms of the same kind. So this oxygen element is made up of oxygen atoms. And you can count the number of electrons present in this oxygen atom. That is 8. Then we have chlorine. And chlorine element also exists as a gas. And this chlorine gas has how many electrons? It has 17 electrons. So the bottom line is, when it comes to elements, we already know that elements are made up of atoms of the same kind. So when an element is existing in its neutral state, when it is not bonding with any other element, when it's not bonding with any other element, the individual atoms that make up the element will have an oxidation state of 0. So all these examples, hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, chlorine gas, and also the other remaining elements, when they are existing in their neutral states, their oxidation numbers will be what? 0. But funny enough, atoms or elements do not exist in their neutral states. That's a fact. We already know if they are in their neutral state, their oxidation state is 0 because there's no charge on it. But they actually do not like to exist like that. Why? Because most of the elements quite exist to be non-stable. They are not stable. Their atoms have maybe not fully filled orbits. So some of them lose electrons. And those electrons that are lost are gained by some. So in the process, they end up forming cations and anions. So the question is, what then becomes the oxidation number of an atom when it forms an ion, either being a cation or an anion? That is what we'll be discussing in our next lesson. But as a summary, neutral elements have oxidation numbers of 0, but they do not like to remain neutral. They like to go into bonding, especially if they are not stable, except from the inert gases or the noble gases. The remaining like to either gain or lose electrons. So what becomes the oxidation number when it gains or loses the electrons? Our next lesson will explain that.